terms of what we can do, what we can control, what we can actually do. We can broach this with our new school board member and talk with her about it, because certainly we would like notice about that.
She is going to be at our legislative dinner, so that would be very good to bring up with her.
Maybe we can put this on the menu.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts.
You know, we already have a tower about a quarter of a mile from Roosevelt. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
Yes.
it just showed up. I mean, there were no hearings, there was nothing, no notice.
It was private property.
I know, but I mean, it's a residential area. It's right next to people's homes. And I believe, you know, I'm in the same belief that if you're going to come in and put something in a residential area, there should be a special exception, and people should be notified, people should have a chance to comment and be a part of the process. And, you know, I just happened to be over there one time and looked up, and there's a cell phone tower, and I mean, it's very close to people's homes. And it's not just a tower, it's a pretty sizable building that goes along with it. And it requires a lot of maintenance, so you have people, you know, driving there and stuff all the time. So
Got some towers over there at NASA Goddard as well.
Yes.
I personally would make a motion that we oppose cell phone towers on school property, and I'm especially opposed to having one at Roosevelt, because not only on the grounds of, you know, the exposure to the kids there, but I think it's an eyesore personally. And we already have them. I mean, like I said, there's one, you know, quarter mile away from there. We have the water tower that has antennas. We have them all around us. They are all around us.
Ms. Davis.
You make that sound so like, ooh.
That's
Though there are people who constantly tell me that their cell phone, they can't hear, they can't get any reception in certain parts of Greenbelt. And to be honest, that is because we don't have the full complement. I'm not saying that we need to have it, but I think people who are complaining about lack of reception also need to know is because there's a lack of towers. Now, what I'm opposed to the school board towers, if you want to call them that, is that basically it is a way of raising money. And that's not the way to raise money. And that is why the community church was considering it. I think GHI at some point has been approached.
Right.
We've been approached about the forest preserve. So if it's a private property, they will sometimes talk to their people around them. But if it's like Glen Oaks Apartments, which is where this cell phone tower is, I'm sure he thought he's the owner. He just puts it up, you know. So I'm not in favor of that, but I think also for aesthetic reasons, most people do not like to live next to a tower, whether there's a health reason or not. It lowers the value of their property. So I don't, you know. And then there's the safety concerns, which were brought up in one of your copious amounts of stuff that you gave us. My God, I ran out of ink at one point. But there's some very good reasons. They would have to build a road to it, and they would have to keep it open and keep maintained it. Hazmat materials, unauthorized personnel would have access to school grounds, and then if the tower were to fall in extreme weather. So there's all good points of not having it in an area where there are kids. So I don't mind writing a letter as long as we stick to what is verifiable reasons at this particular point why we oppose it.
Mr. Putins.
Also, and that's what I was thinking about. The other thing I want to add to this is I want to know if there's any plans, any leases, or anything that has to do with a Greenbelt school, or a school that has our Greenbelt students in it, like Magnolia and others. I'd like to include that, Mr. McLaughlin, in the letter to get that information.
This letter would be to the school board.
School board, I think it should go to the county.
Dr. Maxwell and school
And
board.
to the county exec too, because there is a process that it's going through.
Right.
Money may go to the schools, quote, as, I think I was surprised to find it was $1,000 a month leasing rights to it. But if you do that times 700, and whatever you want to call them, schools or sites, that's a lot of money.
It doesn't go
yeah.
to the school it's at. It
doesn't.
goes into
It
the general
doesn't.
fund.
General fund.
Exactly.
So to get a little clarity, this letter would be requesting a transparent process.
And in opposition.
Right, well, that we're not supposed
Definitely opposition, because we've fought this for, as you all know, even individuals in private, GHI and fire department have been fighting this for a long time. They think about it, and after a while, when they get feedback from the community or from members of council, they drop it very quickly here. But also, we need to have the knowledge of what is really going on, because what I'm hearing and you're saying is that this, and I think I even talked to you before this, I was shocked to find out that it was even passed without any open discussion. I was shocked to hear that. But I would like to know where they're proposed, if there are leases signed, and where in Greenbelt.
Just strikes me that, it really kind of comes down to the specific location. I mean, there are some places that have enough space around them where conceivably, well, it kind of comes down to this. I really would want to know the specific location. It's one thing talking about putting a tower on top of a school right where kids are playing. That's ridiculous. Okay, well, let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.